episode 61. Hello everyone and welcome to Wolff&Schafe podcast. My name is Magdalena and this is my little kitty co-host Domarat. Yeah, nice to see you again after a 2-week break. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for waiting for me, for joining me again. And if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for checking out the podcast. This is a podcast about knitting, spinning, hand-dyeing yarn, sewing, sometimes too, various crafty things in little town of Thiiis near Zurich in Switzerland. I come from Poland, but I live here with my husband Gleb and our little son Stasio. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry under my full name, which is Magdalena Wolff with double F. And if you enjoy the show, please subscribe here on YouTube. This way you won't miss my updates. I put show notes usually here in the down bar, and helpful links can be found in the video description here on YouTube. We also have a Ravelry group, Wolff&Schafe podcast, where you can check out our knit-alongs and giveaways. And right now we're having a show along, which will be going until July the 1st, so this is the deadline. It's okay to participate if you cast on in May. And one of the viewers asked me whether she could crochet her shawl, and I thought about it, and it's completely fine. It doesn't need to be knitters only. So if you'd like to crochet a shawl, please join our shawl along. For the details, please check our Ravelry group. We have 2 threads there. One is for chatter and one is for your finished objects. And there are lovely prizes to win, so check it out. Oh yeah, I have a giveaway to announce because a friend of mine, Paula Wiśniewska, who is known also as Polka Knits on Ravelry, she's a designer and she offered a pattern of her new shawl as a giveaway for our podcast. That's so generous of you. Thank you so much, Paula. And her shawl is called Ghost, and it's named after it's a garter and 2-color brioche shawl, and the name Ghost is after the nature of the gradients in the shawl. So they are like vivid and then disappearing like a ghost. But also she told me that it was published around the time when the new Ghost in the Shell movie was in the theaters, so it's also a bit connected to that. By the way, I watched that movie with Scarlett Johansson. She was very cool in that movie, and the whole movie I really enjoyed. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but anyway, I recommend this movie. I really liked how they managed to make something new, but still connected to the older Japanese movies and comic books. So awesome. And there is Kitano Takeshi, who is quite a famous Japanese director. He plays there one of the roles, and he speaks in Japanese. How awesome is that? Anyway, so I have a question for you. There will be a thread in our Ravelry group, so please check it out if you're interested in winning the shawl. I think it will be going on for like 2 episodes, so I will remind you about it in the next episode again, possibly. And yeah, the question is, what is your favorite science fiction or fantasy movie or book or TV show, and what do you like about it? I'd like to hear it. So please answer the question and you can win the ghost pattern. Awesome. Thank you again, Paula. It's awesome. So I think we could start with knitting with the elephant in the room. And I'm getting already toasty, so I have to talk about this quickly. So my Rombi is here. Ooh. Isn't this awesome? The only thing I have against it, well, okay, the pattern is, before I forget, Rombi by Terry Crews, and I used Malabrigo Arroyo in Purpura's colorway for the body, and for the color band I used Madeleine Tosh Single Merino in Maple Leaf colorway. So yeah, I did my swatching and stuff and some calculations and thought the size I was making would be good for me, but possibly I knitted more tightly, so it looks like this, and I would prefer it to be more like a little bit wider, you know? It's still very comfortable and nice, but yeah, it should not be like this. It should be a little bit more over here. But about the sleeve length, I'm very happy with them. This is very good for me, and I have to take it off because it's so hot. Anyway, this is this little detail with the rhombus. You see it? And yeah, I'm happy with my cardigan, and it matches so many of my outfits that it will be fun to wear it. I hope, well, maybe with wear it will stretch a bit. Right now, as I said, it's a bit too tight, which is a bit disappointing, but yeah, we knit, we learn. And I will know better next time to go for a bigger size. So yeah, this is my finished object, and now a sip of tea. Oh, I'm drinking my lovely Japanese karigane tea, which is a twig type of tea. But these days, I'm telling you, every day I'm also drinking 1 cup of wild strawberries leaves tea, which is supposed to help me with my low iron level. Like, it's supposed to increase my intake of iron. I always have problems with low iron level, but right now it's really, really poor, so I have to support myself with that. And I got used to that. I even collected some fresh wild strawberry leaves around our area because they grow here, and tea from fresh leaves is even more tasty, so it's just healthy, so you can try it out if you have the chance. Oh, what else I wanted to mention? Yeah, my show notes are a bit of a mess, but before I forget, because I'm so forgetful, I wanted to share with you this. So this is a lovely bag that I got from a viewer. And it looks like this. It's very, very cute. It's absolutely to my taste. And where is the, oh yeah, it's here. So she basically came to my place to collect the prize that she won in the last knit-along. And her name is, rivalry name is Auntie Marta, so it's Auntie M. And it was completely, yeah, unexpected and so lovely. Look at this detail. Yeah, I should zoom back. you see it? Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Like every detail is just so pretty. I can't even tell you. And on the back it's just only this one leaf, which is very, very cool in my opinion. So thank you so much. I already told you it's gorgeous, but yeah, I will surely be using this. It's amazing! These flowers here too, oh my goodness. And it's a string bag, so yay! And now back to knitting. So yeah, now works in progress. Patronus shawl is still a work in progress, but I believe not for too long. So it's again Patronus shawl by Madeleine Winsor, and it grew. Yeah, I mean it. This is the marker from the last episode 2 weeks ago, and since then I finished these two lace sections, and now I'm already decreasing, so the rows are getting shorter, which is just great, because usually with shawls you start small, like with short rows, and then they grow and grow like stretching galaxy, you know. And here I'm closer and closer to the end, and the rows are shorter and shorter, which is so much fun. So yay, I'm so happy with it. And as you can see, it's not that huge. It is big because it's a basically 2 skein shawl, but the original Patronus project is like this big. Anyway, where was I? So my shawl is smaller. I used 3mm needles, my Haya sharps, which is US size 2.5 more or less, and thus the shawl is smaller than it would be with bigger needles. But still, after blocking it will probably stretch a bit, and it will be gorgeous. The yarn that I'm using is Eden Cottage yarn in Titus 4-ply colorway, and this is Mill Pond, and this is Copper Bucket. And yeah, I still have quite a lot left, so no yarn chicken here. I'm completely not worried that I will run out, so that's good information. And yeah, I really like this lace part. It's different than your regular lace. I mean, it's not anything very complicated, but still it's just neat. These little pillars here. So yeah, big. And I have some more projects to show you. Next up, if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen, but it's alive! My Cozy Memories blanket is alive, and I've added 2 squares! I usually would, if I work on it, I would like add 1 square per week, so yeah, it adds up. So yeah, I have 2 new squares. This one is Mulberry Cottage yarns in merino sock base in Jungle Dreams colorway. And yeah, it's so pretty. I bought it at the Swiss Wolle Festival last October, and yeah, I really like it. And this is of course a square from leftovers from my Romby sweater. So I think they look awesome together, and I'm thinking about adding here a square of this yarn, meaning Malabriga Arroyo in Purpura's colorway. And I'm knitting on 3mm needles, US size to 2.5 on my Knit Pro Zings, which with which I got more friendly these days. But that's not all. I still have one new project for you. So for some time, I think I mentioned that a couple episodes ago, that I wanted to knit a top, like a short-sleeved pulloverish thing, a tee, or like it. So I decided to use this yarn. This I bought in Edinburgh this year, and it's Queen of Pearls, and the base name is Ballista, and the colorway is Siren Song. And you guys, I just love teals. It's just so pretty, this cool teal color, but so yeah, so I want my top to be in this color, and I've already started. So this is all that I've got, and the pattern I will be using is Asagi by Bristol Ivy, who is a really nice person that I had a pleasure to meet last year in Edinburgh. And we chatted a bit because we were going back together from knitting night, and this year again we met. We had only a few minutes to chat, but still, she's so nice, and you probably heard about her. She's pretty well known, and yeah, this is my second attempt, because I made a swatch. Probably you can tell. Oh my goodness, everything got tangled. So you can probably tell, because of this crinkly yarn that I'm knitting from, that I made a swatch, and then I washed it, I blocked it, measured it, and then ripped it, because that's what I do with my swatches. I then knit them into the sweater. I don't, when I wash the swatch, I don't cut the yarn. I just keep it attached and then reuse it, because I feel really bad about not using it. That's my thing. So yeah, so I'm still on... yeah, there's another detail about this skein. So these skeins, they are actually 150 grams, which is quite big. So I had to wind it like this, like when my yarn ball winder got full, I basically moved this up a bit and then wound the rest. So they are together, but look like this. So I still have some yarn that is pretty crinkly, and to be honest, I'm already annoyed with it because it tends to curl on itself, and yeah. But soon it will be over and I will be knitting with nice even yarn. So yeah, I did the swatch. I measured it, and as always, it was nowhere close to the gauge given in the pattern. So I decided, okay, I go up a needle size. I started knitting with, this is 3.5mm needles, which is US size 4. So I knitted with 4mm needles, which is US size 6. And it was probably closer to the gauge, but it was so loose I thought, okay, it's supposed to be a summer top, so it should be more airy, but I just couldn't stand it. It was too loose, stitches were getting uneven, so I was annoyed. And yeah, I decided to go with these. And I hope again that it won't be too tight. But the pattern is with, it's designed with positive ease. So in any case, it should not be too tight on my body. It might not be hanging as it's supposed to hang, but we will see. What else did I want to say about this pattern? Oh yes, it was published in the Amirisu magazine. So they always publish English and Japanese version. I of course downloaded the English version, but there is some lace on the arms, and there are charts for the lace. So the explanation of the chart is both in English and in Japanese, and for me it's something fun because I never learned any Japanese knitting vocabulary, so it's interesting for me to see how is SSK in Japanese or knit two together. It's just fun. So yeah, this is just the beginning. I think I should have really enough yarn because I have 300 grams, so it's like 3 regular skeins. So, and it doesn't have long sleeves, so I should be completely safe, I think. So these are my knitting projects, and I wanted to clarify something. I mentioned I wanted to cast on the Fairy Hill Shawl by Helen Stewart, a pattern that I got as a birthday gift from Kristen from Wool and Vine Yarns and Yarngasm podcast. Hello. And I was a bit wrong. I understood I got one pattern from her, but it turns out that she bought the whole pattern collection for me. So the patterns are being successively published, and just now the second one got published, and I got the notification, and I'm like, oh my god. So the collection is called Shawl Society, and now I don't know, maybe I will want to cast the other shawl on, or maybe I don't know. For now I have my hands full, so I will just hold on for a while with new shawls. I have to finish my Patronus shawl. I still have my Brioche Basic scarf by Susanne Sommer on the needles, and it's been really hibernating for a while. So I'll see, but anyway, that's so exciting and amazing. So thank you again, Kristen. You do too much, really. So yeah, let's sip more tea. Because before we begin with something new on my podcast, which is a review. I got a copy of a pattern collection from my friend. She also lives in, she lives in Zurich, so not far away. We met on stitching meetups here in Zurich, and she told me that she and 2 other designers published a pattern collection. So the pattern collection is called Lost in the Woods. And the designers behind it are Julia Günther, Robin Weldon, who is my friend, and Emily K. Williams. So this is the cover, and I just wanted to say that the design of the pattern book itself is a gem. It has stunning photographs, illustrations, and the page design itself is just it's just so well done. I'm really impressed. So, and there's these little pictures here. I think it's a great touch to add. And yeah, and we start with introduction here. I want you guys to see it properly, I think. Oh, maybe that's... So it's full of stunning photographs. And then you get the overview of all patterns. So I can show it safely because I'm not betraying any pattern details. And it starts with this pullover, Donduff. I'm probably butchering the name. By Emily K. Williams, and the designers themselves are posing in projects. So you get not only the pictures of the projects, but also just stunning photographs of the woods. How wonderful is that? Then next up we get this shawl, and it's called Thiilenbruch by Julia Günther. And I think it's a great project to use use interesting combinations of colors, and you get some explanation at the beginning of each pattern. And yeah, it's Julia says for this shawl, wrap yourself up in a densely textured shawl that suggests all the bounty of the forest, bark-like textures combined with acorn and berry patterns, all finished off with a leafy lace edging. Lovely. And yeah, and then we get the berries and the tree bark and a squirrel. There's a squirrel, you guys. Then here comes Robin, my friend, in her cowl that is called Unterholz. So under the wood, if I understand correctly in the German. So, and there is, with every pattern, there is a short explanation about the construction and the inspirations behind it. Then you get these stunning photographs. Now, so the previous cowl was a pretty simple project. This hat is much more complex, and it's called Dramashi by Emily K. Williams. So yeah, next up we get this. It's again by Julia Günther, and we can read, it's called Wildbreit, and here it says, the forest can be a place of refuge and nourishment, quite literally for legendary archer Robin Hood. This tunic features an arrowhead pattern and a graceful notched neckline. Look, imagine this with your favorite colors. Next, oh yeah, there are the violets. I'm really not sure how well you will see it on your screen. I hope you can at least see what's in the picture, but the photographs alone, they're just stunning. So next up we get the Breval by Emily K. Williams. See the detail of the pattern, and this is the cardigan, and just the scenery is wonderful. Flowers. And then we get, so this pattern has everything. It has garments, it has accessories, more simple, more advanced. Take your pick. These are mittens, and they are called Ruskanvalo. It's by Julia Günther, and she explains the inspiration behind the name as, my inspiration came from sunlit yellow autumn leaves, hence the name Ruska in the Finnish word for that time of the year when the leaves change colors, while valo means light. And you can see those leaves. Amazing. And there's a wild boar. Like, honestly, there's a wild boar here. Awesome! So this is the pattern that is, for me, is the most stunning, and of course is the most complicated in the whole collection. Did I mention that every pattern gets difficulty rating in pine cones, which I find adorable. So this is by Robin Weldon. Oops, sorry. I just clicked in the wrong place. Anyway, you got to see my Sekhmet screensaver. Whatever. So yeah, here is Robin in her Pravigan shawl. And the scenery is wonderful too. Look, look, look. And next up is this cardigan or even jacket. It has pockets. So it's Ta nicht by Julia Günther. And she explains, the jacket is constructed from the top down with no seaming. Choose whimsical acorn buttons for a woodland feel or vintage brass to underline the military tones. Hope you can see it properly. Then we get a pair of gloves. And they are by Emily K. Williams, and she says, stranded colorwork echoes these woodsy shades and provides maximum warmth. The thumb gusset increases are carefully incorporated into the stitch pattern, while the long wrists ensure no draughty gaps under your coat. So yeah, and then Robin's really wore like snuggly pullover called Regensberg, meaning rainy mountain in German. So she says, walking in the forest on a misty morning is the surest way to calm my mind and restore equilibrium. I aim to recreate that peace with this soft hug of a pullover with its generous cowl neck, extra long sleeves and gently wandering cables. Whether out in the woods or curled up on the sofa, it's your wearable security blanket. See? And then you get leaf with raindrops. Oh my god, they're just stunning. Then there is the Winterbeere, which means winter berries, as you can imagine. Also by Robin Weldon. And this is it. Then it's the end and the patterns themselves start. So I won't be sharing this because there are basically all the details there. So yeah, what I wanted to say, what I liked about the patterns is the use of color to help you navigate through the text. So it's a really good idea, and I myself, when I read patterns and I decide which size I'm making, I usually circle all the numbers in the pattern for my size. So they did that for you here. For For those more complicated patterns, you get both written instructions and charts. And what's interesting, you get also an additional file with the pattern collection. You get the additional file that consists of tutorials. It's whole tutorials that are supposed to help you with the patterns. For example, for Robin's Pravigan shawl, this really beautiful intricate brioche shawl that I love so much, you get even a practice piece to so you could get familiar with more intricate brioche, and there's even a chart for your practice piece. So it's really it's a really well made pattern collection. And in the tutorials you get some step-by-step photographed tutorials with techniques used in the patterns. So you should totally check out this jewel of a pattern collection, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Thank you so much, Robin, for sending me this copy. So yeah, this is it for knitting this week. And my tiny sewing segment, I'm still not done with my skirt. I know it's been ages, and for a sewing project it really takes ages. But again, I'm doing a gathered skirt from the class by Gertie Hirsch, gathered skirt making, and I'm, well, almost done. The skirt has a zipper, it has the hook and eye, and it's the hem is done too, but not hem, the waistband, and the hem needs to be finished. So that's basically it. I can already wear it, but I mean, I could try it on. It looks nice. However, I know it's really far from being perfect. There are some really uneven parts that don't show from the distance. I just know they are there. There is a part here that I need to fix because, yeah, some parts were not really even. And for example, I have a boo-boo here. This part did not get under the top stitching that I did, so I have to fix this so it looks a bit neater. And yeah, somehow the waistband got not really exactly even, but yeah, I'm telling myself this is my first serious project, so I won't be whipping myself because it's not perfect, because it would be so weird if it was perfect. Still, I can't wait to wear it. Luckily the weather is right now it got pretty cool. It's like 17 degrees Celsius compared to 31 that we had during the weekend. It's really so much less. So I can still tell myself I have some time to finish this and then wear it. I'm also thinking about some other project, but since this is going so slowly and the next one would have a deadline, I'm not so sure whether I will do it. I will see about that. But yeah, it's a hard start. Really, everything is so new and it's so easy to mess things up that it's a bit stressful for me. I don't know. Yeah, but for sewing, this is it. And I have my last segment about my life outside of crafting. So should you care, please stick around. So we had 2 long weekends. And well, last weekend we had 3 days weekend, and previous weekend was 4 days long weekend. So we got to spend a lot of time as a family. So previous week we went to, it was a glorious weather, like no clouds at all to be seen. And we went to the Thiiis mountain, which is one of the tallest and most famous Swiss mountains. You can go by cable car up and look around on the panorama. And they say you can see like 6 countries from them there. So it's pretty amazing. And it was so beautiful. Because once I went to the Pilatus mountain with my sister when she was visiting, and we were so disappointed because the fog up there was so thick we could not see almost anything. So it was disappointing, but on Thiiis it was just glorious. And we had lunch up there, which was fun too. And on the top they also had an exhibition of minerals, like, you know, amethysts or quartz and others. So it was very, very beautiful. They had like a collection from various places all over the world. So we saw that, and when we came back down, there was some kind of a gathering of people with vintage cars. And my son, you know, he loves cars. For him, cars are the best thing ever. So also my husband is quite interested in that topic, so we just looked around there and took some fun pictures with vintage cars. It was pretty cool. And other than that, I've been binge watching Supernatural, mostly while knitting on my Patronus shawl, and it got better. It's just like other, like some fans said, it gets better. I'm on season 6 already. Yes. There were some really excellent episodes. You can tell that by season 4 the show really got like they knew what they are, they felt sure of themselves, and thus they could experiment. And also I got the feeling that mid season 2 something just clicked. I don't know whether they got better screenwriters or what, but all of a sudden it just got so much better. I was surprised. So yeah, I'm in season 6. I'm not sure. I will be probably still watching, but I had the feeling that finishing, ending the show with season 5 would be a good idea. And I read somewhere that was the plan. It was planned for it to end with 5 seasons only, but obviously it got so popular that it got prolonged. We'll see. Right now I'm having fun, so yay. And there was this episode just recently that I watched that was making fun of Twilight. Oh god, it was so funny. Like confronting this idealized version of vampirism with this brutal and really scary version of Supernatural. Was really really funny. So yeah, if you're watching for an engrossing show, you should check it out. I already have because there are like 2 main characters, so I like them both, but My more favorite brother would be Sam. And yeah, if you're watching, I'd like to hear your opinions. For example, which of the characters speaks to you more? And yeah, I think I watched. I talked a lot today, and I feel a little out of practice after this 2-week break. So I'm sorry if sometimes I would be like somewhere with my mind or struggling for words. Sorry about that. I wish you a great week and happy knitting, and we will see you next time. Yeah, bye!